Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Bouncers channel. My name is PFC Calico and today we're going to be looking at Tokyo 42. Just to get a bit of legality out of the way, yes, I did receive this key free through a key mailer, however I have not been paid for any services or this review. Now let's just get that nonsense out of the way, shall we? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is Tokyo 42? Tokyo 42 could be considered an isometric game from the way it's laid out, and you play an unwitting gentleman or woman or whatever, and it's set in the future where death no longer takes place. You can change your body with a click of a button, and you are framed for the murder of friends of yours, and you are then created into an agent of destruction, an assassin. You go on various missions, you then delve deeper into the dark underbelly of this shining city of Tokyo 42 and Nanomed. And the controls are very simple, it's just the normal WASD, where you can combine the two to then move diagonally and use the Q and E keys to rotate the screen around. So unlike traditional isometric games, so like the original Fallouts, where if you were to go behind something, the scenery that's in front of you would kind of almost disappear around you. You can actually rotate the game itself. Now the game is brought to us by Smack Games and Mode 7 with help from the UK Games Fund, and it's made with Unity, and it's also made in association with Darbatron. They have a Twitter page, they have a Facebook and a Google Plus page, I believe. This game works on Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and if you can go to their website, you can also download the soundtrack if you particularly like it. And as they describe it, it is the love child of Syndicate and Grand Theft Auto 1. I can see those inspirations right from the get-go, especially with the isometric view and your job essentially as an assassin. The weapons you have available are anything from pistols, assault rifles, katanas, sniper rifles, an abundance of grenades. The controls are quite easy to use, a bit difficult to get the gist of from the very beginning, but the missions are easy enough in the beginning that you're not just dumped at the deep end to then fend for yourself with a new control system. They break you in a little bit easily, and there's a nice tutorial, and it lays everything out quite nicely, thankfully. So from the time that I've played, I've enjoyed it immensely. I love the kind of 3D retro pixel sort of styling that they've got going on. It suits the game quite nicely. It gives it almost a comic book feel, which is kind of what you see when your handler calls you, the guy that gives you all your contracts. You'll see that the styling, the art style is very much similar to pretty much the first Grand Theft Auto. If you talk to anyone, the faces are all pixely on the mobile phones. Well, not the mobile phones, but whoever you are talking to. And it's, well, what more can I say? It's the execution is, as far as I can see, quite seamless. The fact that it's so accessible in its controls once you do get used to them, and getting from A to B, you can use teleport pads so you're not having to trek halfway across the map. For assassins, the map is big enough that you're not constantly seeing the same scenery for every contract, but it's small enough that you don't feel like you're lost, which is great to see. You know, the scope of it is good. They've taken a lot of time and a lot of effort to counteract the thing where you get this sort of illusion of grandness, where some developers will shove as much scenery into a game as possible. Yay, it's great that you can go everywhere, but does it actually really fit the style of the game? Does it fit what it is you're actually supposed to be doing? And for this, because they've focused on such a small area, but they've crammed in a lot of goings on. As you walk past people, they'll say things like, oh, there's not enough neon in this city, there needs to be more neon. You know, things like that, just little things kind of breathe a little bit of life into this city, as well as the masses of people everywhere. The only thing that I would like to see is that if there's any law enforcement, that I mean, there have been a couple of times where I've kind of sprayed and prayed on my assault rifle and I've accidentally hit some innocent people, but there's kind of been no consequence to that. If I'm an assassin, I need to be precise, so to speak. I also found that trying to be stealthy, which we have achievements for, you get achievements for how stealthy you perform your contract, and I found that sometimes the ninja, yes, it is a challenge, but in some cases, wow, it is really hard, I found. And for the achievement hunters, spot on if you want a very good challenge for those achievement hunters. So all in all, to sum this up, it's a very well polished, well thought out game that is quite easy to get into, and the controls complement not only the gameplay style but also the layout of everything, in that you can navigate quite easily without getting too turned around, if turned around at all. I thoroughly suggest, if you have played Syndicate and you enjoyed it, and you played Grand Theft Auto and you enjoyed it to the point that any other games like Shadowrun or anything like that have piqued your interest and you've bought them and you've played them and you've enjoyed them, give Tokyo 42 a spin. You know, if it's something that you are maybe a bit on the fence, keep an eye on it and maybe pick it up on sale on Steam, because it is definitely a very fun game. That's pretty much all I've got. Thank you for listening and watching, and please, as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and come back again for another episode on the Bamsters channel.